Watching Sony's CES 2020 press conference on Monday, I was struck by two things. The first was just how mind-blowing the information about the PS4 and the PS5 was, and the second was to do with something that comes up quite regularly on this channel, and that's how exactly do you pronounce Sony, or Sony, as so many people seem to want to correct me, but we'll get to that in a minute. Let's get to the PS4 and the PS5 news first. I don't know how many of you watched the Sony press conference, but there was a lot of interesting stuff in there, specifically about autonomous vehicles and the systems that Sony are developing for them. It seems that Sony have recognised a new market for entertainment media and are going after it with gusto. It's not something I'd thought a lot about before, but if you have autonomous vehicles, that frees people up to watch movies, play music, play games. It's fascinating, frankly, and we're going to be entering a whole new world of entertainment as we give up holding onto our steering wheels and sit watching movies with our families or playing games with our kids. In among all this other stuff, though, which kind of has a peripheral interest to gamers, we got 8 minutes dedicated to the PlayStation, with Jim Ryan taking to the stage to blow our minds with exciting and new information. We heard about the history of PlayStation from the PlayStation 1 to the PlayStation 4. We were told about the PlayStation 4 and how it's just become the second best-selling console of all time behind only the PlayStation 2, with 106 million units being sold. We also heard about the 1.15 billion PlayStation games that have been sold, and we heard about PlayStation VR selling 5 million units. We also heard about how the PlayStation has 103 million monthly active users, and so on and so forth. It was all pretty impressive stuff, with even the PlayStation Plus subscriber count looking good at 38.8 million. Even if that is a little bit short of the actual numbers sold, you'd expect that. Ryan then went on to talk about the games, which was what we were all waiting for, and well, he didn't disappoint, did he? He mentioned, and I kind of mean mentioned, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Marvel's Iron Man VR, and The Last of Us Part 2, which none of us had ever heard anything about before, had we? At this point, I was buzzing from all these new game announcements and couldn't wait to hear what else he had to say. But of course, Ryan wasn't done. He had more. Much more. And at 9 minutes and 4 seconds into the conference, he began talking about the upcoming PlayStation 5. And boy, were we in for a treat. At 9 minutes and 15 seconds, we got the big announcement we'd all been waiting for. Are you ready? I'll not spoil it for you. So here's the announcement from Jim Ryan himself. Sit tight.
And I'm pleased to share with you today, for the first time, our new logo.
Yep, PlayStation's big announcement at CES was the new PlayStation 5 logo, which looks very much like the PlayStation 4 logo, but with 5 at the end instead of 4. I was beside myself with indifference. Really, Sony? Is that the best you could do? And look, I know we're going to get more down the line, and I've no doubt that the PlayStation 5 is going to be a great console with great games, but this was literally something and nothing. It was utterly pointless, and it left me feeling more confused than anything else. Seriously, if they had nothing, then they should have kept quiet. Just showing a logo and nothing else, when we've been getting drip-fed information about the Xbox for months now, well, it just makes them look desperate. And look, before anyone claims that I'm some sort of Xbox fanboy or an Xbot or whatever you want to call me, let me quickly add that I don't believe Sony are desperate. That's not what I'm saying. I think they'll have a good product and they'll have great games and all the rest of it, as I've already said. I just think that this was a misstep and it sends the wrong message. When you've got a new console coming, You don't want to bore and confuse people by suggesting to them that you have nothing to show and are scrabbling around for something to say. That's just the way I feel about it. And on the subject of scrabbling around for something to say, well, I'm brought to my second point. I've had a fair few pedants. That's pedant, not peasant. And if you don't know the difference, go and look it up. Anyway, as I was saying, I've had a fair few pedants come into the comments on my channel, obviously without very much to say, because they've come on and corrected my pronunciation of Sony. Apparently it's not Sony, it's Sony or Sony. And, you know, I'm going to be saying Sony from now on because that won't be really annoying, will it? My usual response to all this is that I don't care and that it's not important, but it keeps coming up. So I just thought that I'd mention it here and take a step back and let Kenshiro Yoshida speak on my behalf.
And we, Sony, 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 Sony.
There you have it, straight from the horse's mouth. Sony. Not Sony, not Sony, Sony. And no, I still don't think it's important. If you want to pronounce it Sony, if you want to pronounce it Sony, however you want to pronounce it, fill your boots. I don't care. And I'm not going to correct you. I'm not even going to say you're wrong. But for future reference, shut up. Anyway, you know, I'm not really very serious about this. I don't think it's that important. I just wanted to bring it up because I noticed it when I was watching the conference. And you guys can come in the comments and, well, you're probably going to come in and correct me anyway, aren't you? So, as I say, fill your boots. But I'm going to go and grab myself a cup of tea and I'll speak to you guys in the next one. Bye.
And we, Sony, 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 Sony.